Hey Macworld fans, Adam here with Leif.
Hey.
And as much as I like to take notes in my daily life, there's nobody in the office who is like Leif Johnson when it comes to note-taking, whether it's in actual pen or pencil form,
Yes.
or on the iPad Pro with the Apple Pencil.
Yeah.
And I came across a product recently that claims to feel just like paper.
Okay.
And we're going to check it out right now versus the iPad Pro here with the Apple Pencil. So this product is called the reMarkable. So this was a crowd-funded project, and this tablet, it is a 10.3-inch tablet right there. If you want to take it out, Leif, check it out. It is a e-ink display, runs a custom version of Linux. And it comes with its own, they call it a marker, just because it's the reMarkable tablet. The one key feature that is very important in this is the display. So they're calling it the Canvas display, and it was engineered over 4 years to have the tactile feel of paper. Before we do any drawing, I want you to compare the two writing utensils, Apple Pencil versus the reMarkable marker.
It's hard to say whether or not I prefer a light, writing instrument, or it depends on the actual object. And right now I can tell that the marker, the reMarkable marker, actually feels a little lighter than the Apple Pencil. This is the second generation. And I kind of like the length of the Apple Pencil, the second one. This is not as long as the first generation one, so this one's a little bit shorter. A lot of people say they like their long pens. I actually kind of like them short. It's something about the way I write, but
Okay.
it feels very similar. There's part of me that I want you to say they were taking some obvious cues from design here.
Of course.
Yes. But on the tip here, I often say when I write from Macworld that the Apple Pencil, it feels like writing with a Sharpie. Now, it can do some really fine lines, but if you look at the actual tip here, there's some length in it. Whereas this one, on the marker, you can see that it is a little bit more precise. And that's what I'm always going for. I think I said in one of my Apple Pencil, what things we would like to see articles, that I would like to see a little bit more precise tip where it feels more like writing with a real pencil or a real pen. So I'm kind of happy to see this. That's like a step in the right direction.
I'll also mention that there's no setup required on the marker, and there is no battery.
Nice.
So it is very much a standalone thing.
That's good.
And you can change out the tips. You even have one hidden here in the actual.
Oh,
right
that's
there.
nice.
So an extra
Okay.
tip just in case you lose one. All right, so let's go into just one of these quick sheets that I have. I've been doing my own messing with it, and I'll show you the pen options here are a fountain pen, a felt tip marker, or a what do they call that?
Like a micron?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. It also has a pencil feature and a brush, but I've actually just liked the basic ballpoint pen. You can change the circle size as well.
Sounds good.
And also like the shading. But yeah, so why don't you do some real quick writing samples on this?
Ooh, I like that.
So they advertise very, very minimal lag, especially because it's e-ink display, powered with an ARM processor. So
Now I want you to see here, and this is one thing I'd like to, compare. I'm writing really small here, and to me that's like a big, thing to look for, is how small you can write, because to me that shows how precise the actual instrument is. And I'm doing this really well here, and that's a good sign. And I'm already impressed by this. And
well, this does have tilt and pressure sensitivity.
I can see it.
But
Yes.
that's is also depending on the pen that you actually choose. It also claims 2048 levels of pressure sensitivity.
This is impressive. I have to admit, one of the things I'm always worried about is how it's I'm tired of wasting paper, put it that way. That's a big part of it.
I mean, honestly, that's the big thing for me too. Like I said, I have a big notebook that I use to jot down notes every day, and the promise of this is to be, hey, your one and only notebook. Would you say that their marketing of feels just like paper holds true?
Just like paper is a big claim. I don't know if it feels like that, but this, because that's essentially what you're doing. This feels like you're writing on glass, and so listen to this. Yeah, so if we're in the quiet office and I try to write with the iPad, yeah, I can. It's almost as annoying as me clacking on my butterfly keyboard, is because everybody can just hear me tapping on the screen. So that's one reason I go back to paper. But this is nice. I'm already impressed by this. Now this is important. This is what we're looking at here is almost like a Kindle and stuff. It's kind of like that.
E-ink, yep.
Yeah, e-ink, and this is what I've been wanting, because even though this is the iPad is a wonderful device. I'm very impressed with what they managed to do with it. The fact is, you are getting bombarded with that light all the time. And I'm using True Tone on here right now. That's the one that's supposed to be easier on your eyes. And still, it's distracting when you're trying to write something. And it's, the glare really does get to you. Part of the reason why, writing on paper is so, you get away from that, especially, as a journalist, we spend all of our time staring at a screen and stuff. This allows you to get away from this. And I've wanted this ever since I saw a Kindle, honestly, is something like this. And I am already impressed by how well it works. So let's, I'm going to try this pencil one right here. But yeah, the pencil on the Apple Pencil, it actually looks like you're working with like a dull pencil, and I've always been really impressed by that. Look at that, and that's beautiful.
It's interesting because they have two different options. This is the sharp pencil, and then this one is the dull pencil option. So it's weird that it's not contained in both.
Yes, that's nice. Now, the surface, when you write on it, it doesn't feel as much like real paper, but the experience is much closer to writing on real paper than I would say that the Apple Pencil is. And that I think is the important one, because I'm able to write really small here,
The big question I have, though, is price.
Mm-hmm.
For a niche device like this, how much would you be willing to pay?
That's a good question. Considering, okay, you have to keep in mind that I do this a lot, and I would be looking at it preferably. That's the thing. It's preferably. I'd like to pay about $400 for it.
Okay, well, you're in luck because the MSRP is actually $600.
Okay.
But it's been on sales for at least a couple months that I know of for $500.
Okay.
The markers themselves, if you want to get two or replace them, they're $59. They actually do have a nicer marker available too. That's actually made of aluminum and heavier.
Nice.
And that one is about $100.
So I just have to ask. So this, every time this comes with...
It comes with it.
Okay,
yes,
good,
yes.
Because you have to buy this separately. So,
You also can buy a separate folio that has a nice holder for the marker. I forgot to bring it in here, but they have leather and felt options. They make it a nice experience for you to bring around. So yeah, I've been impressed so far with my time in it, but I wanted to see what the writing expert thinks of the feel of it. So
I could definitely see myself really getting into this. And the more I've been using it, remember how I said I wasn't sure if I liked the actual weight of it? It's wonderful. It is comfortable. I could see myself writing a whole draft with this.
Nice.
And that's the important thing to keep in mind too, is I don't just write stuff for notes and everything. I will write my whole 1,000 word draft.
He sure will. He sure will. Yes. Which is why I wanted you to have you on this video for sure. So look for the full review coming soon. And Leif, thanks for doing your quick impressions for this video. So for more Macworld videos, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell.